And now, from Raw and SmackDown to premium live events and retro rewinds, this is WrestleVision.
Hello everybody and welcome back to WrestleVision. My name is Luke and this is the show where we take a look at everything happening in WWE, from Raw and SmackDown to premium live events, creative decisions, and all the little details that make wrestling so good. So good. I got you. It's great. So, we got plenty to talk about today. SmackDown, Saturday night's main event is tonight, and, you know, all the rumours are swirling about what's going to happen and who's going to make a return and what the stipulations are going to be for this match and yada, yada, yada. But we've got plenty to talk about on last night's SmackDown, and I have to say, considering SmackDown has been a little lackluster for the last few weeks, I enjoyed this episode. This was a solid SmackDown episode, and we will break it down. We'll get into why I thought it was so good and what happened in the show. And I've heard a lot of people complaining about booking decisions, and I have to agree on some of it, but I think overall it was a pretty decent show. So let's not waste any time and let's get straight into WWE SmackDown that came straight out of Albany, New York at the MVP Arena. And we open the show with Joe Tess and Wade Barrett on commentary for this Friday night SmackDown episode, and Gunther made his entrance dressed in a suit, and once he was in the ring, he said he wanted to address the elephant in the room. He said he's been a professional throughout his career, but he's been mistreated ever since he arrived on SmackDown. I have to agree a little bit. I mean, to be fair, he has had it a bit hard, but, you know, we could go back with a whole foot under the rope and all that kind of stuff, and the referee was, it was all a bit of a mess, wasn't it? It was all a bit of a mess. But he blamed SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis for making things personal. He took issue with having to tag with Sami Zayn, adding that Zayn is beneath him. Adam Pearce came out. Enough! Mate. Why do they... I mean, they say this, enough. They say it every bleeding week, and it's getting a bit corny now, and don't even get me started on Cody. We'll get there in a minute. But he said that whilst walking to the ring, and Pearce took issue with Gunther's treatment of Aldis. He said that if this had happened on Raw, he would have fired him already. And he said that Aldis petitioned to make sure Gunther was not fired because he wants a match with him. At SummerSlam, it's gonna happen. Pearce said Gunther should have waited last week and he would have found out about the stipulation, but he attacked Aldis instead. He announced that if Gunther and Zayn beat CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, they will be added to the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam, making it a four-way. I called it. I knew it was going to happen. There was no way that Sami was going to lose that belt after 9 days and they were just going to insert Punk into this picture and that was it. Oh, that's it now. Oh, that's it. We're just going to get CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. End of story. It was never, ever going to go that way. And yeah, I'm glad that I think we will get the four-way. I think the, little prediction here, Saturday night's main event tonight, I think that Gunther and Sami will win. Might be shenanigans, it might be something else. Probably will be that. I don't see anyone else interjecting themselves into this match. Could randomly get a Kevin Owens. You never know. He could come back and help Sami out. I mean, look, I know that the news swirling about Kevin Owens is that, we don't know when he's going to come back, but this could be a little bit of a, what do they call it? Turning your eyes in the other direction so that it's a bigger surprise, essentially. And could happen. I don't think it will. But I'm just throwing it out into the universe, just in case. You never know. But I've got Sami and Gunther winning this one, making it the four-way at SummerSlam. I think that's a much more interesting match than just Punk and Cody. And don't get me wrong, I think we'll probably get that. Whatever happens at SummerSlam, whether Cody wins or Punk retains, I think that we then go to SummerSlam. We go to Survivor Series and we get the singles match up there. But I think this will be a four-way. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't wait to see what happens at SummerSlam. But after that, Cody Rhodes made his entrance and he attacked Gunther once he was inside the ring. He threw a punch that knocked Gunther through the ropes and to the floor. And then once he got the mic, this is when we got the enough. I swear, like every couple of weeks he does this, he says this, and I looked directly in the crowd when he said that, and people were just laughing because it's so funny, because he goes so over the top. Like, don't get me wrong, I know he's mad in the situation and things like that. I know that it's fired up Cody. But when he talks like this and he says, Gunther, you're going to get your match. I'm going to get it tonight and I'm going to beat you down. You don't deserve to be. You know, when he does all that, it does crack me up, because it's like Cody's the clean suited, clean cut guy, you know, and he comes out in his tracksuit. Well, he's a different guy. He's a different guy entirely. But he did get the mic, and he said Gunther was handed another stipulation. He was handed another stipulation. A stipulation that essentially favours him and Sami, even though he's saying he's been treated so poorly. He's got away with all these little things. And this is one of the booking problems that people said they had an issue with, was the fact that, you know, we're meant to be punishing Gunther and we have all this issue with Nick Aldis, but then you've put a stipulation in there that actually favours Gunther and Sami and his ultimate risk for Cody and Punk. And yeah, it makes total sense. It's a bit of a weird call, but as I've heard before, and as I think it probably should be, we have to think about money. We have to think about TKO and how they're running this business. Doesn't make it okay, doesn't mean that I like it, but we have to have that in mind now. We have to think of every decision that WWE and TKO make with money and returns in mind. And although Punk and Cody would have been a match, and as I said, the other week, I think people will still go to SummerSlam, even though they're not selling all the tickets. I think that, they've acted on the fact that they're not selling these tickets, and they've gone, right, we need to up the stakes again, maybe, and now throw in this random stipulation. Doesn't matter if it makes sense whatsoever. We're going to do it because now we're going to have this four-way. And as I say, I do think it will happen. So yeah, that's much more interesting and does sell the tickets more, to be fair. I mean, that's more enticing to me than Punk and Cody. But Cody recalled Gunther kicking his head into a car on a recent Raw show and said he would have known that he would kick his ass at first sight. Cody called for a match with Gunther, which Pearce made official for the main event of the show. Tess and Barrett spoke from their broadcast table and set up a video package. Adam Pearce announced that Rhea Ripley is dealing with a torn meniscus and will not be able to compete at SummerSlam. He announced there will be 5 qualifying matches on SmackDown over the next 2 weeks, and the winners will earn a spot in a ladder match at SummerSlam that will crown the interim WWE Women's Champion. Now, already got a few issues with this. We saw the first 2 matches on this show, and we will get into those matches. But the people that are in them have had plenty of title shots already. This is an opportunity here that you've got so many underutilized women on the roster at the moment that you could have used them in this and give it, if it's interim and your plan is to just give it back to Rhea at some point. I mean, that's how I would interpret interim. You're basically saying, well, Rhea's off, so we're going to have to stick it on someone. We'll make it a bit fun and give you a match at SummerSlam. But ultimately, she's probably going to get it back when she comes back. All right, that's fine. So why don't we give one of the young guns, why don't we give one of the new stars a run? Jacy Jayne, man, would have been perfect. I was vowing for her, and ironically, I was like, right, I'm going to say something about this online. I'm going to get it in there and see what people think. And then she lost. But again, this is like, why is Tiffany Stratton in it? This is giving almost flashes of Liv Morgan being in the King of the Ring. Don't make no bleeding sense. She's got a belt already. She doesn't need to be there. But again, if we're thinking from a money standpoint, if you've got Jordynne Grace, Jacy Jayne, Blake Monroe vowing for the belt, is that going to sell tickets? I mean, I think it would. I think it would, because, WWE are always saying that, oh, don't listen to the internet people. But at the end of the day, the internet people and the people that run, the X accounts, the Instagram accounts, and do all the reactions and things like that, your bigger internet people, I think that they're the ones that have all the knowledge, that have been watching it for bloody years and years and years without fail, have had no gaps, unlike myself. But their opinions do matter at the end of the day, because I think that they're the people that you're putting on your show as of a couple of months ago, and showcasing them and their reactions and stuff to the world on the biggest events that you have. It doesn't make any sense, because I just think that if you was to have all them young guns in a ladder match, mate, Like, how unpredictable is that? That would be really interesting. So, yeah, but like I say, from a money standpoint, they're going to just put the big hitters in there. Charlotte, Jade, Tiffany. It's just going to be something we've probably seen already before. But I think that Charlotte will win it, personally. And I think that if we get to SummerSlam and we get this ladder match and Charlotte does win it, then we can run it back with Charlotte and Rhea when she comes back. But then also you've got this Jade storyline going on as well, haven't you? So there's already something there. It's easy for them to do that. I kind of get it. But hey, this is the position we're in. This is what WWE do, what TKO do. We know how this works now, and it's, again, becomes a little predictable, unfortunately. But on the opening, they've said here, a newsworthy start to the show. They announced the Rhea Ripley news beforehand, but they had not announced any of the qualifying matches. Gunther and Adam Pearce were both very good in their roles, and Cody showed great fire when he attacked Gunther. Yeah, as I said before, sometimes I feel like it's a little bit over the top for Cody. It does make me laugh a little bit. You have to chuckle when you get to my age and you've watched wrestling for sort of as long as you have, and when you watched it as a kid, this is the sort of stuff that would really, really excite you. But now it just makes me laugh. You know, I'm much more of I prefer the serious promos, and I know you could call this a serious promo, but with Cody sort of shouting and raising his voice and all that kind of stuff, it just makes me laugh now. But it wasn't bad. I did enjoy it. It got me hyped for the end of the show, so I'll give it that. But then we get our first match, and we get Finn Balor making his appearance for Finn Balor versus Talla Tonga. And Finn Balor beat Talla Tonga in 9 minutes and 35 seconds. And the first thing I have to say with these two, fucking the size difference. Talla Tonga, I mean, they're billing him at like over 7 foot tall. I don't think he is. He's probably about 6'10", 6'11". I'm not going to say he ain't far off, but yeah, he's an absolute beast. And Finn Balor, I mean, I said this the other week as well. He's just so bleeding good. He's so good in ring, and you know he moves like a 20-year-old, and he's what 40-something. Moves like a 20-year-old, but he marks up on the marks on his body, and the welts that he gets is of like a 50-year-old. Like he always walks away from the match looking like a tomato, basically, with all these marks and scars all on him and stuff like that. It's not a bad thing, but yeah, it's just something I noticed about him. And yeah, man, Finn Balor, too damn good. And Talla Tonga still hasn't spoken, don't know anything about him. The theme tune he came out from, is that even his? I don't even know anymore. I'm not really paying that much attention to these two. But hey, look, he's completed the set now. He beat Tama Tonga, he beat Talla Tonga. Happy days. But let's get into the match here briefly. It says a couple of minutes into the match, Talla charged Balor, who held the top rope down, which sent Talla to the floor. Talla returned to the apron and stuffed a Balor move, and Balor fought off a chokeslam attempt, but Talla clotheslined him and ran him into the turnbuckle. Talla Tonga caught Balor on the ropes and set up for a T-bomb chokeslam, but Balor put him down with a DDT. He went for a shotgun dropkick, but Talla beat him to the punch with a big boot. Balor avoided another running kick, leaving Talla with one leg over the top rope. And Tama distracted the referee, and Balor bounced the top rope into Talla's groin. But Cole said, "Oh no, we've got fried onions here in Albany." I mean, is that a US thing? Fried onions? What does that mean? I mean, I kind of guess what it means, but fried onions, yeah, I'd never heard that before. That did make me laugh. But Tama ran to Balor's side of the ring, and Balor put him down with a sling blade clothesline. Back in the ring, Balor shotgun dropkicked Talla, and Balor hit his coup de grace finish, then decided to hit a second on the big man before pinning him. Always can rely on Finn, and man, this crowd was really into him, really into this match. They really, really enjoyed it. I feel like Finn, he's just got the momentum at the moment, and it's good to see Finn back. I feel like he could definitely go into that main event picture, and yeah, man, I'm fucking here for it. But with the win over these two, what is next? Do we just go straight into the main event picture after the potential four-way at SummerSlam, or where do we go? Back into the IC picture, maybe? I don't know. I'd like to see him with a belt. I think he deserves it. That's my opinion. And let's see what they've said here. It says, "I'm surprised that Talla took a clean loss rather than being protected. I grumble a lot about WWE trying to protect too many people, so I'm not going to complain about Balor pinning Talla clean. And yeah, I kind of understand that because I thought that. I thought, well, he's pinned him clean. It doesn't really do anything for Talla Tonga. They've both been beat now. Is this just their way of sort of saying sayonara, giving them their last couple of matches? Because what do they do now? We can't just have Finn and Tama Tonga and Talla Tonga every bleeding week. Who wants to see that? Do you know what I mean? Like, we've had the matches. He's beaten both. Move on. So maybe there'll be a tag team, Talla and Tama. Yeah, I'm not too bothered. I'm more concerned about what we do with Finn Balor at this point. But moving on from that, we go backstage to WWE Champion CM Punk. And he's clarifying with Adam Pearce that his SummerSlam title match could become a fatal four-way if Gunther and Sami Zayn beat him and Cody Rhodes on Saturday night's main event tonight. Punk said he's old school and prefers one-on-ones. Yes, I'm sure you would. He said Gunther would try to hurt Cody in the main event rather than beat him. Well, are you not hurting him by having a match anyway? I know what he's saying, but maybe I'm just splitting hairs here. He's going to hurt him in a match anyway. He probably could have done without it, to be fair. But Punk said he was going to talk to Cody. Then Damian Priest entered the picture and shook hands with Punk. He said he appreciated the shout-out last week and said he'd be waiting for Punk, if he's still champion, after SummerSlam. CM Punk said he hoped that Priest keeps the tag team titles because he and Cody would go on a roll and make him a double champion. They bumped fists and R-Truth popped up behind Priest and startled him. And Priest wondered if Truth had been there the whole time. And just on this little segment here, I thought that last week when he mentioned Damian Priest's name, it was to kind of highlight the fact that he was going to be this new face of AAA. You know, and it was kind of, let's put his name and float his name out there so that we think of Damian Priest in the main event. Do I think that there will be a match between Punk and Damian Priest? I'd like to see it. It would be great. I mean, I like Damian Priest. Do I think it will happen? No, I don't think it will happen. I think, again, it kind of serves the same purpose as before. It keeps his name in the picture. Do I think Punk and Cody will go on a tag run? No, I don't. I don't really see that happening. However, the little promo or segment that we got later in the show with Punk and Cody, their chemistry is very good. I really enjoyed that segment. As short as it was quite funny. I did think to myself, you know, they would be quite an interesting team. It would be kind of like friends with convenience, you know, the whole Bliss and Charlotte. It was kind of going down that route. We've got two guys that are top of their game. They could go on a tag run and take it, but again, it just kind of dilutes the tag team titles and we're just getting single stars rather than actual tag teams that we actually have on the roster that we could use. You know, Axiom are there. You know, they were in a match, but look, I don't even know what to say anymore on this sort of stuff because it just bugs me. I'm like, mate, we've got tag teams and you started binning them all off. You got rid of Machine Guns, you know, we've got bloody Street Profits, got them sitting there and all. Yeah, it's just one of them things. It's just one of them things that they can't seem to work out. And yeah, maybe we will get two more single stars in Cody and Punk going for it, but I don't think it will happen personally. But then we get a video package with Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, Jacy Jayne and Tiffany Stratton talking about their qualifying matches and hopes of becoming the interim WWE Women's Champion at SummerSlam. And again, Nia Jax, nice to see her back. I did wonder where her and Lash Legend have been. Maybe just a bit of time off, but yeah, it was good to see Nia Jax back in action. And then, interestingly enough, we got a WWE Unreal clip featuring Cody Rhodes at the WWE warehouse. Cody said the warehouse holds their history and he wished more guys would check it out. Cody checked out a casket and several awesome ring jackets, including one worn by Dusty Rhodes, and it was just basically advertising the third season of WWE Unreal, which drops on Tuesday. I enjoy the show. Look, I know that Unreal is basically just a show pretending to be a show about what actually happens, and it's a show in a show. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not really what happens, but moments like this is exactly what I want to see from Unreal. You know, can you imagine having a tour That is what Club WWE should be used for. Not John Cena going, oh, you can buy my new T-shirts for only £100 a year and all, or $100 a year and all that crap. Like, don't get me wrong, I did sign up for it. I got the email come through, and then I saw all the talk online about it, and I was like, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to bother with that. It's just another way of them getting your money, and I don't even go to enough shows to warrant the sort of percentages off the tickets and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm in the UK and so we rarely get shows anyway. I mean, we get more than we used to, but I can't go every single week like I would if I was in the US. So it makes sense for the US crowd. The international crowds, we don't really get much out of it. Maybe they should do a special club, WWE International, and you can win days out. And this is what I'm saying. You could win a tour of the warehouse, or you could win a tour of the arena before you go. You might do of that, to be fair, but yeah, man, it was just crazy to see all these coffins piled up or sort of in the shelves and everything like that from all the Buried Alive matches and things like that. All the segments with the Undertaker and Paul Bearer and all the jackets that are just sitting there on the rack. It's crazy the amount of history that they have, and it feels like they should be vaulted better and looked after more. These materials that they make these jackets out of are only going to last so long at the end of the day. And they had like a big pile of belts there as well, and just sort of thrown on this production crate. It was like, oh yeah, just throw that old belt there, that old Universal title or that old SmackDown Women's title, whatever it was. But yeah, fucking mad, mate. Like I would absolutely love to go to the warehouse and just have a look at all that stuff. I just wish it was looked after a little bit better. Not to say that they don't, but maybe we'll get a better look of it in Unreal. Obviously we will, but yeah, just from that clip alone, I'm like, I wish we just had it. You need to case that stuff up, mate. You can't just have it on a rack. All them jackets that he had and the outfits and things that all these legends have worn. Like you. You can't, man. You need to have like a big wear. I'm surprised they don't have all that stuff like hanging or cased and framed in, is it Minneapolis where they've got the WWE headquarters? Or wherever that is, they should have it there. I know that they've got belts and big pictures and things like that, but it's a bit more for show there. And I think you've got all that history sitting there. What they should do, they should bring back the WWE restaurants. And what they need to do is, like the Hard Rock cafes where they have all the guitars and the jackets and things like that in the actual restaurants. I mean, every time that I go to a Hard Rock cafe, I love to look at all that stuff, all the signed memorabilia, and it's got like a plaque and it's presented really, really well. They should bring back the WWE restaurants, and then they should put all that stuff up in their restaurants. They'd make $1 and $2 out of that. I tell you, that would do really well, in my opinion. But I know they had something like that before that didn't. But maybe, hey, look, the approach is different now. There's plenty more nostalgia to ride off of now. And I think that WWE is bigger than it ever has been. So I think there'd be a market for it. But we move on to our second match of the night, which is the qualifier for the ladder match between Tiffany Stratton and Jacy Jayne. And Jacy Jayne, Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed made their entrance for the qualifying match. And the trio attacked Tiffany Stratton in the ring. And then all of a sudden, Brie Bella's music hit and her and Paige ran out and ended up fighting with Henley and Reed. And the one thing I did notice as well, I just wanted to point on, is that Fatal Influence's theme song sounds very similar at the opening part to Damian Priest's. I just thought, classic Def Rebel that is, just cut and paste, exactly the same as Damian Priest's, just a little bit quicker, but good tune either way. Fatal Influence's theme is quite catchy, and it's one of those ones where you could listen to it and it not sound like a wrestling thing. And with Fatal Influence coming out, I just wanted to say, you know those memes where they say, I watch WWE for the plot or the wrestling? Fatal Influence come out and, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. But yeah, man, not complaining there. But we'll get into the match either way. Stratton was on her feet and caught Jayne by surprise when the bell rang to start the match. Tiffy was in offensive control going into an early break, and in the end, Stratton performed a rolling senton and hit the prettiest moonsault ever to get the win, and Tiffany Stratton beats Jacy Jayne in 7 minutes and 45 seconds to qualify for the ladder match for the interim WWE Women's Championship match at SummerSlam. And look, I know it's in Minnesota. She's from Minnesota. So it makes sense that she's there. But again, I'm just going to repeat what I said before and probably echo what a lot of other people are saying, is that Tiffy did not need to be in this match. She already has a belt. I know she said about the whole double champion thing in the video package, but we don't need to see it. She don't need to be there. This is just pleasing the home crowd, I think. And let's just see what they've said here about it. So Minnesota natives Tiffany Stratton and Chad Gable will both challenge for championships at SummerSlam in Minneapolis. There you go. It sucks that Rhea Ripley will miss SummerSlam, but the ladder match is a nice addition to the card. I agree, but Jane failing to qualify for this ladder match is disappointing, but hopefully she'll win the Money in the Bank ladder match. She could, absolutely. And this is what I mean. We need to be giving these people the opportunities. This was a perfect opportunity to let her win. If you're gonna have Jade and Charlotte in anyway, why not just put Jacy Jayne in it? Like, Tiffany Stratton doesn't need to be there. She has a belt. Everybody knows her. We've seen her a million times. That doesn't mean we never have to see her again. I'm just saying. You don't have to always line up with the biggest stars ever for SummerSlam. Like, give us a curveball, man. God damn it. Jacy Jayne for the Money in the Bank or Chelsea Green. As I've said before, I'll take any of them. Or even Blake Monroe. But then we got a Baron Corbin promo video, and Corbin said that Trick Williams is the first name on a long list. He called Carmelo Hayes collateral damage, and Corbin told Trick to smile when he can and enjoy what he has, because he's coming for it all. And I'm going to call it now. I think Baron Corbin is gone within the year. Just a prediction. The way I see this, Trick and Melo already have the history from NXT. So that match could go into SummerSlam and no one would have an issue with it. Why do we need Baron Corbin here? It seems that every time they don't trust an event or a matchup, they try to shoehorn someone in there for the attraction, and this time it's Baron Corbin. But what I will say is that at least this time, it isn't a singer, a rapper, or an NFL star. So, you know, I know that Baron Corbin has history with the company, of course, and I know that the fans do as well. But I just don't think you need him in there in a minute. Like I say, nice to have him around, but I think he'll be gone within a year. That's just my prediction. I think this is very Aleister Black, kind of what they done with him, and they brought him back and he was gone within 12 months. So, not predicting big moves for Baron. But Jackie Redmond interviewed Trick Williams straight after, and he said Baron Corbin thinks he's a big bad wolf, and Trick said Corbin is actually a big bald-headed bitch. Trick said he has a title belt that has more hair on it than Corbin's head, and mine as well, Trick, and mine too. Carmelo Hayes then entered the picture, and Trick said Hayes had better be there to apologise. Hayes said he was sorry that Little Yachty was able to walk out on 2 feet, and said that Trick found a loophole and wouldn't defend the title against him. Hayes said they both know that Trick isn't better than he is. And Trick said Hayes has been on SmackDown for over 2 years and hasn't done anything. Well, he has, mate, because he had the belt that you're holding. And if you want to judge him by that standpoint, then neither have you. Trick told him to write down that he would mind his business when grown folks are talking. And Hayes smiled and put his shades on as Trick walked away. Don't need Baron. There's enough history between them two to just carry us on, but Trick saying that he ain't done anything, or saying that Carmelo Hayes hasn't done anything, is a load of rubbish, because he's done exactly what you've done, if not more, mate. So, bit silly that. But we move on to match 3 of the night, and it is Jade Cargill with B-Fab and Michin versus Nia Jax in another qualifier for the ladder match for the Women's Championship at SummerSlam. Jade Cargill beat Nia Jax, which didn't beat her, but she beat Nia Jax by DQ in 1 minute because of Charlotte Flair coming in and not being able to hold her emotions and taking Jade Cargill out. And we'll just run through it here. Lash Legend was not in Jax's corner, and Jax performed a leg drop for an early 2 count. Jax went for a leg drop from the middle rope, but Jade avoided it, and Jade put Jax down with a spine buster. Then, obviously, as we've said, Charlotte Flair showed up at ringside and ran B-Fab into the ring post and then tossed Michin into the timekeeper's area. She entered the ring, avoided the pump kick, and then hit Jade with a big boot, causing Jax to be disqualified. Like, another booking problem. It's like, I know that what happened with Bliss last week was, is your friend and you want to sort of avenge her or whatever you want to do. But you're in a feud with Jade. Why are you running into the ring, taking out Jade to then give her a pass into this match? That doesn't really make much sense to me. You should have held your emotions, and I'm hoping that they address this next week and sort of say, maybe if there's a conversation between, I know Bliss is out, but like a phone conversation or something that Charlotte's on, where she can sort of turn around and say, I let my emotions get the better of me and it was really, really silly. If they don't address it, then it don't really make much sense, because again, that is a fucking bit of bad booking there, to be fair. It's a bit silly. Jade Cargill could have just got the win. What would have made sense, obviously, is for Charlotte to just come out and hover around the ring and just put Jade off, and then maybe Nia got the win, because now Nia has another opportunity. So she's taken the spot of somebody else who could have been in this match to progress again. So, yeah, it's all a bit fucking weird, to be honest with you. And I know it's probably scratch booking, like they've had to get something quickly done. But yeah, it's weird, mate. I mean, it's Charlotte and Nia now, so I think Charlotte's probably going to win that, because I think she'll win the whole thing. So just after all that had finished, Flair grabbed a chair from ringside and wrapped it around Jade's arm. Flair tried to stomp Jade's arm, but B-Fab and Meechin pulled Jade to the floor, and Mark Nash named Jade as the winner by DQ. Nia Jax was pissed and corner splashed Flair from behind before making her way out of the ring. Jade, B-Fab and Meechin entered the ring and put Flair down with Jaded. But then we go backstage, and Jackie Redmond asked Gunther about the stipulation that he could be added to the championship match at SummerSlam if he and Zayn beat CM Punk and Cody Rhodes tonight at Saturday night's main event. Gunther said that when things don't go Cody's way, he forces himself into his business. To be honest with you, Gunther, I think he forces himself into the main event picture whenever things don't go his way. He just keeps popping up, this fucker. I know I'm a Cody fan, but he is always in it. And as I've said before, just give him something else to do. Stick him in the US title picture or something. Let's change it up a little bit. Gunther spotted Johnny Gargano lying on a production crate still, while Candice LeRae stood by, and Candice told Gunther not to do anything stupid tonight because we need this win tomorrow. Gunther told LeRae that if she wants Zayn to win, then he should shut up and not get in his way. Then Blake Monroe appeared in the background, and Blake attacked LeRae after Gunther walked away. Monroe introduced herself to LeRae as the new girl and said she'd see her around. She looked down at Gargano, who was still face down on the production grate, and told him, "You need a haircut." And I like Blake Monroe. I'm really enjoying what she's bringing, as little as it may be. This is one of the stars that I think should be getting opportunities more so. And to be fair, Candice LeRae should as well. All three of them. I mean, it's a bit of a sin that Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae have been doing this for so long now. And I know that we've spoken about this before. It's an absolute piss take. And they're even writing it into the story now, with what Gunther's saying, with what Punk is saying last week. Like, just what are you doing, guys? Like, let's just get on with it. Like, it's ridiculous. You can't do this to people. You can't allow these stars and sort of these talented wrestlers to just do this for weeks and weeks and weeks. The way I see it, this is years, mate. This is years in their career. Years they're never going to get back. This is time that they're wasting when they could be having a match here, there, anywhere, really. And they're just not. You've got AAA now as well. You've stuck some of your wrestlers over there, even if it don't make sense. Like, just get them doing something. Like, oh, mate. Ridiculous. But I feel like it's coming. With Blake and Candice, something's going to happen there. Johnny Gargano, something has got to happen there as well. But we move backstage to Nia Jax and Lash Legend complaining to Adam Pearce about Charlotte Flair costing her the match. Pearce said Jax would have another chance to earn her spot in the ladder match when she faces Charlotte Flair in a qualifying match, which is totally unfair. Could have been somebody else, as I've just said. Yeah, let's see what they've written here. It says, I would question the logic of rewarding Flair with a qualifying match after she just cost Jax her match. Yeah, there's that too. But then I'd also have to question why Jade was rewarded with a qualifying match after attacking Alexa Bliss last week. Yes, that too. Like, this is what I don't understand. It's the money play. Remember, we have to think about it from a business perspective now, because this isn't entertainment anymore. It's a business. And yeah, both of those points are 100% true. It doesn't make sense either way, but we never know. When they do these contenders matches or these types of matches, the problem is we never know why they pick these people. They just happen to pick them. And I think to myself, what determines you getting picked for these matches? Is it wins over the year? Is it any? We don't even know. We don't even know. Do you know what I mean? And this is what frustrates me because again, you've got you've got women sitting on the roster that haven't had opportunities. Oh, we don't know what to do with Jordan Grace. We'll put her in this bleeding match then. Do you know what I mean? Give her a feature at least. All right, she might lose. That's fine. She was on TV. People aren't forgetting about her. Do you know what I mean? It's so annoying. And don't get me wrong, I did enjoy this episode, but some of these choices just really piss me off. But anyway, that takes us into our fourth match of the night, and it was the AAA Tag Team Champions, the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar versus Axiom and Nathan Frazier, or Fraxiom, in a non-title match. And the War Raiders beat Fraxiom in 10 minutes and 35 seconds. And I have to say, this was a great match. And I'd said in the last couple of weeks that I weren't interested in the War Raiders whatsoever. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I am now, because I'm not. But what I will say is, though, they have no right moving the way that they do. They're big guys, and they can seriously move. They are quick. They did some serious shit from the top ropes. It was insane. Fraxiom are unbelievable as well. They're too good. However, what it does show is that a high ability of wrestling talent don't mean shit in this company because of where they're currently at. Fraxiom feature every now and then. Eric and Ivar have been shifted over to AAA, and that doesn't mean we don't matter about them entirely, but you can't find space for them on your show, as good as they are, and you've shifted them off to AAA to feature there. But phenomenal match this. I really, really enjoyed it. And so did the crowd. We had holy shit chants. This is awesome chants. Like, really, really good. And we'll run through this match. And the War Raiders were on the floor when they caught Frazier going for a suicide dive. Axiom went up top and performed a moonsault onto the War Raiders before a picture-in-picture break. Late in the match, Frazier hit Ivar with a Phoenix splash and had him pinned, but Eric broke it up with a knee strike. The War Raiders came back with power moves on both opponents. Eric and Ivar hit their Ragnarok finisher on Fraxiom, on Axiom, and got the 3 count. And just some notes that I've written about this. Nathan Frazier is crazy good. He's like turned up to 150 to 200 in every single match. He's just so bleeding quick. The War Raiders have become more exciting to watch in the ring as well from when I last saw them. I saw them live, and they were okay, but they've definitely got a lot better. Like, as I say, they should not be able to move like that. Can you imagine them in the 90s or even the 80s with the way that they move and sort of their presentation that they have? They're very character, they're not relying on who they actually are. They've brought these War Raider characters to the forefront, and it doesn't necessarily fit as well into WWE today as it would have done back then. I definitely think it's right place, wrong time for these guys. And although I haven't watched them in AAA much, it seems like they're definitely turning heads, which is, why they've managed to become the champions over there. But how can you watch these guys and not be entertained? They were really brilliant. And secondly as well, this is more than enough proof that there is serious talent in the tag team division. But what I think we need is just a good story. Give us something to work with. Give us some emotion behind it, and we can enjoy this week on week. And I found myself sort of fast forwarding the tag matches often because there isn't anything there. There's no stakes. There's no emotion. I don't really care. But I'd much rather something like this, week on week with a good story, rather than it being like a bloody Papa John's pizza spot on a PLE somewhere, which is where these guys, unfortunately, turn up the most. The crowd really appreciated this match. I really, really enjoyed this. And just quickly, I don't know if anyone else saw, Nathan Frazier nearly knocked himself clean out from the suicide dive on the table. So, yeah, that was a bit of a close spot. Go back and watch that one. But let's see what they have to say here. It says the fans were quiet for a good portion of the match. Yeah, but I don't always think that's bad. I think that they were enjoying it. They were soaking it in. And it says the wrestlers won them over late. The match was enjoyable, but the outcome was never in question, given that Eric and Ivar will be facing Damian Priest and R-Truth in a title versus title match. Yeah, so this is what I mean. Like, Fraxiom are there, War Raiders are there. There isn't anything sort of tying them together, no story. But that match was enjoyable enough to finally get the crowd over. I thought they were into it. I was into it. Ability's one thing, and it should count for a lot, but unfortunately it doesn't. This is all story and entertainment, this company, and money. And if you're not selling T-shirts, apparently you're not very good, according to them. Even though you can wrestle your fucking arse off and be brilliant and give us a fantastic match, it's just a shame it doesn't count for more in the modern world. But moving forward, we get Cody Rhodes in his dressing room when CM Punk entered the room and questioned Cody about facing Gunther the night before Saturday night's main event. Cody recalled Gunther kicking his head into a car door, and Punk asked if facing Gunther was a good idea. Oh no, Cody said without hesitation, and it was a really funny little segment, this. Punk said he'd planned to go out there and watch Cody's back. Cody said that was great and said Punk could watch his back from a backstage monitor. Punk said he'd see him out there, and Cody said he'd see him on Saturday. And after Cody left for his match, Punk added, "I'll see you at SummerSlam." Then we get another good segment here, which I thought was pretty much perfect. As Danhausen's segments go, this was perfect, and I have to give credit to Jackie Redmond here because she was really good in this segment. Jackie Redmond interviewed Danhausen inside his lab, and she brought up the numbers advantage that Judgment Day would have over him during his match against JD McDonough. He introduced an animal in a cage as his secret weapon. Jackie Redmond said it was a stuffed animal, and Danhausen said it was a cat. Now, I've heard a lot of people say cat is an analogy for Cole Anthony Towns, who plays for the Knicks. So, yeah, maybe with Jalen Brunson showing up with Roman Reigns, we'll probably get Cole Anthony Towns showing up in the Danhausen match. I would have thought based on that. But she asked how it would help him win, and Danhausen said, "You never cross paths with a cat because you are cursed." And the accidental curse caused a pyro flare from some of Danhausen's equipment. He told Redmond she should probably run, and Danhausen grabbed the cage and ran away. And this, good little segment there from Danhausen. Still strong. Do I think he'll win over JD? I think he might lose this one. I think he might actually lose this one. But you never can tell. He's on a roll. There's no reason to let him lose. With JD losing, it doesn't stop anything. They'll still continue. It's just more reason for the Judgment Day to be mad at Danhausen for cursing him and I won't say cheating, but some shenanigans happening. And it just, like I say, gives them a reason to chase him down. But after that, Gunther made his entrance. Cody Rhodes ran out and attacked Gunther from behind on the stage and then worked him over while at ringside. Cody tossed Gunther in the ring and asked the ref to ring the bell. And that leads us to our final match of the night, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. And Cody Rhodes beat Gunther by, it says here, an apparent DQ in 12 minutes and 50 seconds. And we'll run through this match here because there's a bit to talk about towards the end. The referee rewarded the babyface for his pre-match attack by obliging his request to call for the opening bell. Cody went to the middle rope for a springboard move, but Gunther shoved him over the top rope to the floor. Gunther targeted Cody's left knee and kicked Cody's leg out from underneath him. He slammed Cody's bad knee into the ring post, and then CM Punk made his entrance, while Tess said that Gunther's attack on Cody's knee is exactly what Punk was worried about. Cody and Gunther hit simultaneous clotheslines before we got a break, and when we came back, Gunther went for a big boot in the corner that Cody avoided. Cody targeted Gunther's right knee with kicks and took him down with a dragon screw leg whip and applied the figure four. So they're both going for the weaknesses here, doing the whole leg move. And, the whispers about Cody turning heel, I still think it will happen at SummerSlam. So watch this space. And then Sami Zayn showed up and attacked Punk with a flurry of punches on the floor. And I actually thought he was going for it. Watch it back. He looked like he was missing the punches, but he was full arming it. Bang, bang, bang into Punk's head. And I was like, Jesus, this is where I think there is a little bit of saltiness there from Sami still to be like, fuck you, Punk. You've just came in, took my title, and now I'm like the fourth best person in this match. He might have been anyway, but he did come out and he was wearing a Justice for Sammy t-shirt. That did make me laugh. Justice for Sami, because he's such a good guy. It's just such a good guy, you know. So we have to have justice for Sami, and I wonder how well that'll do on the old WWE website. But Gunther went for a sleeper on Cody, who slipped away afterwards, and Cody went for a sleeper of his own. But Gunther fought him off and shot him into the ropes. Cody performed a suicide dive on Zayn. Cody got back on the apron and punched Gunther, and Sami attacked Cody from behind, ran him into the ring post, and the referee called for the bell. And this is where all hell broke loose, because it was just every man for himself pretty much. We had the tag teams go in for their individual person, but Gunther set up Cody for a powerbomb on the floor. Punk ran across the broadcast table and dove onto Gunther. Cody recovered, tossed Zayn on the broadcast table and threw punches at him while Punk and Gunther fought. Zayn fought back. All four wrestlers ended up inside the ring, and a group of referees and producers, again, tried to pull them apart. They didn't. They just came in and sort of hovered their hands near them, as they do, while the executive producer credits, were shown. Test closed the show by hyping Punk, Cody, Gunther, Zayn for Saturday night's main event. And decent match to begin with. And I like the way that it's ended, setting us up for Saturday night's main event. I'm hyped. I'm ready for it. And my prediction is that Sami and Gunther will win this match, and it will take us into the fatal four-way. You can't tease us with this four-way and then not give it to us. Now everyone's thinking, don't get me wrong. Yes, I understand it's also a reason to sit and watch Saturday night's main event, because if that happens, but even if it doesn't happen, even if Cody and Punk win this match tonight, I genuinely believe there will still be some way in for Gunther and Sami Zayn. Something will happen. Maybe if we get a night one match, for argument's sake, between Gunther and Nick Aldis, then there can be a caveat or a clause in that match that says if Gunther wins, he gets to go into the night two match, or however they're going to plan it. I mean, I think that night one will be the WWE Championship, and the World Heavyweight between Seth and Roman will be on night two. But let's just, for argument's sake, say that happens. There could be a stipulation in the Nick Gunther match that says that Gunther can get into the WWE title match. So, lots of interesting things to happen tonight. Really looking forward to it. Let's see what they've written here. I didn't have my hopes up for a clean finish since the match wasn't advertised before the show, but it was fun while it lasted. Better yet, Punk and Cody had a spirited brawl with Gunther and Zayn. The added stipulation that could turn the SummerSlam match into a four-way added some needed juice to the Saturday night's main event card. It feels like a one-match show to me, but that one match is now a lot more interesting. And this is obviously going to be the match of the night, the one that I'm looking forward to the most. The reason that I'm staying up at 1 o'clock in the morning to watch this match, and it's coming straight out of MSG, so it's unsurprisingly probably going to be a very rowdy, loud, hyped up Saturday night's main event. But I think I really enjoyed this show. Personally, for me, I'm probably going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 for the rating of this week's SmackDown. A lot better than what we've had before. Enjoyable. A good setup for Saturday night's main event. And now we have the ladder match to look forward to with the women. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, we can get some decent matchups and hopefully some surprising results. Although I'm not going to hold my breath, because as we know, WWE will play it safe and they'll play the money game, baby. Whatever makes them the most money, and the big names clearly bring in the big dough. But that'll do us for today, guys. I've been Luke. This has been WrestleVision. Thank you so much for listening. And if you enjoyed today's episode, tag yourself in by following WrestleVision on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening. You can also follow the show on Instagram at WrestleVision Podcast. But until then, WrestleVisionaries, take care, enjoy Saturday night's main event, and I'll catch you in the next one.